You know what I might do, because I don't want to do this recording twice. I'm going to record it with Camtasia also as a backup.
Yeah, it's recording the transcription, so
Okay.
that should mean it's running.
Should. I'm going to record it with another program as a backup. I had to re-record the other one, and I don't want to be
Oh,
doing
that's
the other
not
one.
good.
No. Okay, well, we'll wait another minute or so.
Yep, it just said this is all being recorded. I just got a pop-up message, so.
Okay, yeah, it probably is. You know what? Maybe I can't use my camera when it's being used by another one, but I can still record. So, okay, let's start this one. Okay, how many do we have so far?
We have 4.
Hello, everybody. Has the general orientation ended, or did you just join early? If not, I want to wait a minute or so for the other students.
Message says it ended.
Okay. We'll just give it one more minute. Okay, I'm surprised there's such few attending, given how many had applied. Yeah, I see the recording button. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Anybody that joins late can join, and it's also going to be pre-recorded. So I want to talk about course enrollment by track. For any questions, please use the MS Marketing email. Both myself and Professor Dickinson, who's on the call. I think most of you have met him. If you haven't, he probably has answered some of your inquiries so far. You want to say hi for tell them what you teach, Keith?
Yes, hello, everybody. It's Keith Dickinson. I'm the program manager for MS in Marketing. I teach undergraduate marketing courses here in the General School of Management.
Okay, thanks. All right, so we'll save questions for later, but if you have some real burning question, do put it in the chat, and then Keith, if you can be monitoring that, and then you let me know when we
Sure.
get to a good point to pause. So one of the things that I want to stress is that in addition to resources like myself and Professor Dickinson, any type of question that has to do with courses and the degree plan, only that. If it's something else, we'll talk about other resources for you to contact. Like if you have problems with holds, if you have problems swapping a class or enrolling in a class, that is not something that we can help you with. That is something that's done by advising. But we have an executive leadership student council. You can see the members, 6 members here. And what they do is they organize events throughout the fall and spring semester. We don't have much going on in the summer. And one of the events that we just had was kind of a fun event where they had some quizzes and competitions and door prizes. Then sometimes we have alums that come to speak. The next event coming up is from April 3rd through the 7th. They are going to be offering peer-to-peer sessions where you can ask them questions about summer and fall. Now, at the end of the day, they are not like the ultimate experts or knowledgeable about everything. Obviously, they've had personal experience. So just keep that in mind. And we encourage them, if it's a question they can't answer, they need to mention that you need to reach out to us. Okay. So this will be provided, this presentation, by tomorrow. We always do a little bit of tinkering since we have other orientations today, tomorrow, etc. And you will get this by email, okay? UTD email. So again, you'll get these, but these are QR codes for their LinkedIn and Instagram account. And here's an example too of another event that took place last semester. We announce these once you start the program through the newsletter. It is something that we send out every spring and fall to current students. You are not on the list that we can send it to you till you enroll in classes. So be aware of that, but you will be getting them once you are enrolled in classes. So one of the big questions is students don't know which track to pick. So one of the things that we see, and I think this can also define which track you should not pick, is employers tell us that they can teach anybody how to use the software. What they have difficulty is finding students that have initiative, critical problem solving skills. So if you aspire in graduate school, hopefully that's your aspiration to be in a managerial role in a couple of years. These are traits that you have to start developing now, because most students who are in our program only have 1 or 2 years of work experience, and that's not enough to have picked up these business specific skills. Now, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not something that you have a meeting and somebody tells you XYZ and in 30 minutes you acquire these skills. First of all, picking a track is a discovery process, and it's going to take probably at a minimum several days of intense research and reading on your part, usually weeks. So it's not something you have to decide in your first semester, okay? You should do readings. We're going to provide you with some great resources. But the other thing that's just an unknown is you know yourself better. You should be honest with yourself internally, have some awareness of where your skill set lies. So just to give you an example, we have a lot of students who want to be in analytics because they hear that's a hot area, big data, all this stuff, but they do poorly in statistics. So if you do poorly in statistics, clearly that's not an area for you. I mean, marketing is a wide umbrella. It's not just analytics, and it doesn't have to be in analytics. So don't think only in terms of where are all the jobs or the majority of growth. That is a consideration, but also think about where your skills align. You will be taking a professional development course, which will help you also determine that choice, hopefully. But we have some other resources that are probably more important than the professional development course for picking a track. So I'm not going to show the video, but there's really 3 pieces of information you need to be aware of. I have put together a video that goes from A to Z, all the pros and cons of all the different tracks we have for international versus domestic students based on skill sets, etc. So it's not a short video. You don't have to watch it all at once, but if you're going to invest X amount of money in this degree plan, $50,000, $80,000, depending on many factors like scholarships, etc., it really is incumbent upon you to start to make an effort in making the right choice so you can get a quality, good paying job. It's no different than if you're going to pay $40,000, $50,000 for a car. Hopefully you're going to do some research before you just show up and take the car that the salesperson is recommending. So the other one is we have in the past written long blogs about these different job areas. There's many job areas in marketing. So what we've done is we've put together all in one place. And again, we will send you this by tomorrow, a very detailed list of jobs by area: product management, jobs in digital marketing, jobs in consumer and shopper insights, et cetera, et cetera. And there's different sometimes roles within each area. Within digital, there's many different areas. There's, for example, marketing automation, there's e-commerce, there's web analytics, there's social media marketing, there's search engine marketing, et cetera, et cetera. So for each of these major areas, what we've done is we give you a very brief description of what it entails, how many years of experience do many of the job postings require, to get your foot in the door. It is a little bit of a catch-22. They like to see some experience or specific software and certifications. We tell you what are some of the average salaries if you have that 1 to 2 years of experience, and we tell you how many jobs there are right now, open jobs that are being posted on Indeed.com and LinkedIn. Okay, what is some of the software commonly used? We look at, for 15, 20 companies and posting about marketing automation, what are some of the software that they're requesting? The other one is what are the top skills? So in addition to the skills, we map it out to the course that we offer. If we don't offer a course in that, we tell you that, for example. So for example, HTML is sometimes a really useful skill. We do not have a course in HTML. It is something you can either self-learn, is not super difficult, or there are some very inexpensive courses for $50 that you can learn HTML on your own time. Okay. So this is the second key piece of information. Then the other thing for your convenience is every course we offer has a syllabus. So you don't have to go to each syllabus. If you want to just see what are the topics, what are the prerequisites, what are the certifications, if any, we have put together these charts that you can easily, at a glance, scan through them. Now, it's not a substitute for the syllabus because the syllabus will tell you, what are the dates for different things? Are you going to do a project? Is the exam worth 20%, et cetera, et cetera? We don't do that in this table because that changes by instructor, by semester. But as far as the topics, they're pretty consistent, okay? So this is another resource that really you should be looking at, you should be using, okay? Now, once you are enrolled, until you are enrolled in classes, and that cannot happen until sometime in April, you are assigned a date in Orion. Once you are enrolled, we will put your name into our e-learning platform so that you can also go through, access this information. You can do it now also. But the difference is if you submit a short assignment that we have here, we can give you feedback about what are your choices. Are you making coherent choices? Unfortunately, we see a lot of students that have a great deal of difficulty in just figuring out, reading through the material to pick a track. So, I've seen students that say they want to be marketing analytics, and then they're looking at job postings in sales or branding, which is totally incorrect, right? They did not seem to understand what marketing analytics is about. So if you need that confirmation or check, we offer this for you. We will give you feedback as long as you are showing that you're going to do a little bit of research, fill out a relatively simple sheet that says why you're picking that track, what are the courses you're thinking, to see if it's consistent, okay? At the end of the day, however, as a graduate student, you have to take ownership of the decision based on the criteria that we state in the video and in the supporting documentation. So one thing that we want to mention is you do need to know your degree plan. A few students don't know it very well, and then they make mistakes of not taking the core courses before they graduate, and then they get stuck. So we don't manage semester to semester. If you're taking the core courses, for example, that's a given at some point, and we recommend certain courses if you take in your first semester. But if you take it in your second or third, some of these like consumer behavior, that's up to you. Nobody's monitoring it until the semester you want to graduate. By then, it may be a little bit late if you have a lot of core courses that you haven't taken. So do know your degree plan. Once you decide what track you're going to pursue, or combination of tracks, I'll explain that here in a minute, then you do want to know what are the courses that are recommended in that degree plan. So a lot of this information is on the website. So right now, let me think. Yes, so right now the fall 23 degree plan is the only one that's active because it goes fall 23, spring 24, summer 24. That's kind of our degree cycle. Sometime in the summer, this will be updated and it'll say fall 24. Okay. Now you can look at course descriptions. This is on our website for the MS marketing and their curriculum. You have this key course comparison that I showed you previously. You will have the job skill mapping link here also. Okay, so a lot of these, even though we send them to you, they're available online also. Okay, so this is something you probably should start looking at now, in my opinion. Okay, so the way these tracks work is, first of all, they're informational. They're not required. You can do a mix. You don't have to follow them, and I'll kind of cover that also here in a bit. But the way they work is for every track, we recommend some core courses that, in our opinion, if you don't take anything else within this track, but you're interested in this track, take these four. Then there are some additional electives. Now, you may look at some of these and say, no, I want to take one from digital, and that's perfectly fine. All this is covered in the video. I'm not going to read each bullet point. I'm just going to tell you that just a high level thing for each track. So for this one, I don't recommend it really for international students. No sponsorship opportunities in advertising or branding. For domestic, it's also kind of a stagnant feel compared to digital, compared to consumer shopper insights, etc. So this track is one that is attractive for international students. It's not pure analytics. It doesn't require, unlike analytics, it does not require advanced statistics, and it does not require programming. Some programming, like SQL, which is to query databases, is helpful, but it's not, do or die like it would be in analytics. There it is. You've got to know nowadays programming like R, Python, SQL. So what this is kind of a bridge between a traditional marketing manager and the analytics people, and they get the data analytics that's provided by, say, the data scientists, and they make recommendations. They're more analysts who are analyzing data provided by other groups or teams within the company. Okay, so it is a good area, high growth, and it's a nice combination of data, being data savvy, and also having good segmentation, business knowledge, marketing knowledge of positioning, etc. The digital track, definitely a high growth area we recommend for both US citizens and international. Some areas are better for international students than others. I would say PPC, SEO, social media, not really. There's a lot of domestic candidates that are good in social media, PPC, SEO. So probably you'd have to specialize more in the web analytics, e-commerce type courses, experimental designs for testing purposes, etc. So these are the core courses we recommend, and then electives. Because there's so many digital related electives, to make it a little bit easier for you, of the electives, we've further broken them down, and we have tier 1 that are even very relevant to digital, and tier 2 that are good, but not as relevant because of the content to the digital track. Okay. So this is one that's definitely, I'd say, a big percentage of our students follow the courses in this track. So marketing analytics, so probably that one that has the most sponsorship, visa sponsorship opportunities, good pay. But you got to keep in mind, you're competing with people with a math, statistics background, programmers. And if that's not your strong suit, you will struggle. There's a lot of competition. And at the end of the day, it's not like they'll hire anybody. So to me, the two tests, litmus tests are, if you don't get an A in OPRE 6301, although I think you should take the OPRE 6359, which is for data science. And we'll talk about that here in a couple of slides. I would say this is not a track you should pursue. If you're not good at programming like Python, this is a track that should not be for you. Product management, really, I don't recommend for international students. Very few sponsorship opportunities. I mean, there have been a handful, like 3, 4 in the past 10 years that I know of MS marketing students that got a visa, OPT after they graduated in product management. So it's not very common. The only usually opportunities if you have a computer science or an engineering undergraduate degree, and now you have the business part, and you're hired by a company and that deals with software, high-tech manufacturing, et cetera, or civil engineering, if that's what your undergraduate degree is, okay? This one does not analytics. It is more, again, just very well-rounded marketing and business person, knows marketing strategy, project management, some finance, profit and loss statements, things of that nature. Now, this is actually the most popular track, and the reason is because it allows you the flexibility to pick and choose courses from different tracks, digital and advertising, digital and consumer and shopper insights, product management, etc. Okay, so what we see is those who work for small, medium-sized companies pursue this track. Now, there's less chance of a visa sponsorship, but it depends on the courses you take. So if you take more consumer, shopper insights, digital track courses, then your opportunities are equal to somebody in that track. But if you start taking advertising and cross-cultural communications and international marketing and a lot of other courses you can take in this track, that does not make you a strong candidate for visa sponsorship. Okay, so be aware of that. The advantage too is it allows you to take a lot of courses outside of the marketing department. So you can start to take courses from the entrepreneurship group, from the finance group, from business analytics, etc. Okay. So let's summarize some things. The track name, if you decide to pursue one, digital or marketing management, does not appear in your degree. Okay, when you graduate, it does not appear in your degree or your transcript. Tracks are for guidance purposes. So you can follow one track today, and then next semester you can say, okay, now I want to focus because I don't like this type of coursework. I'm more interested now in this other track. So you can do that as long as you follow our degree plan, core courses, and really a minimum of 9 credit hours of marketing electives, and you're going to be fine. So you can just mix and match with this. The main thing, regardless of what track you take, is take courses that align with the skills for the job areas you are interested in. Okay, that is really the main thing. Again, let me just go back to one of these. So the reason we have tracks for informational purposes is we would have, we have 160 students in the MS in marketing. We cannot advise each and every 160, you want to take this, take this, take this, take that, because it really, first of all, is a decision you have to arrive at from experience and from your own research. But if you're interested, once you pick a track and you come to us, we would say, well, if you're interested in digital, these are the priority courses you should take, these core courses for digital. Or if it's for another track, take those core courses and then these electives. So that's what tracks exist for, to help guide you and inform you once you pick a direction that you're going in, okay? So this is Coursebook. I believe Advising has already had some kind of webinar, hopefully, where you have been informed of this. If not, it's coursebook.utdallas.edu. And what it is you can see all the different courses we have. There's a lot of filters like instruction method, online, in person, class level, undergrad, graduate, and it lists everything for that semester. So these are now viewable summer, fall in course book. Now, often the syllabi do not appear until, not always, but for the most part, they don't appear until 3 weeks before classes start. So what you can do is just go back, change the filter, and look at, let's say, spring 24 or fall 23, and then you will see the syllabi for that course and that instructor. The topics, exams usually don't change. The only thing that you won't get is the most updated dates of when an exam is, etc. You're going to have to wait for the syllabi for that. Okay. So when do you enroll? In your Orion account, there will be an enrollment open date. Okay. Most students, especially new students, you're going to be minimum at the second week of April, or maybe third, maybe even the fourth week of April. Okay. Those who are graduating in the summer or the fall get preference to enroll because they need to be able to take maybe some core courses. For holds, there will be a mention in Orion that you have a hold, and you should be able to click on that notification, and it should take you somewhere where it tells you why you have a hold. Okay. Now, if it doesn't, or you have questions, again, this is not something our area, myself or Professor Dickinson can help you with. You need to see where it's telling you the problem is, like the bursar's office. And if you can't figure it out, doesn't tell you, please contact advising. We cannot even see what holds you have, and we certainly cannot remove them. Okay. So please do that. So another thing I want to bring up that has become somewhat of a problem as we've waived GMAT or GRE. So all schools are different. Some are, more rigorous than others. Some students have work experience, some don't. So we do see a percentage that have ended up in probation. And part of it has to do, apparently they're not used to the US college grading scheme, which is a 4-point scale, right? And it can be within that scale a 3.5, a 2.8, etc. So probation is if your grade is less than 3.0, okay? But also if you're borderline, it's very easy one semester to be on probation and not the other one. But then at the end, you might find yourself not able to graduate. So if you're on probation, that means you're not going to be able to get an internship. There's just no exceptions. This is a UTV rule. And depending on, what your GPA is, you may have to repeat courses in order to graduate. And that cost is, you probably know, quite a bit of money. So some of the traits we've seen with probationary students is they really rarely read emails or instructions. So they're missing out on things. They're not used to looking at a syllabus. They're not used to, I guess, used to too much text messaging. We don't really do text messaging. It's all by emails. So you do have to be monitoring that. The other thing we see, and I think this is part of the GMAT area because of also language proficiency, poor reading comprehension. Marketing is not like math or statistics. We have college English level business requirements, case studies, where the language is, it's not conversational. It is of a higher level. And some students have difficulty grasping sometimes that level of like case studies. So we have in some classes Harvard Business Review case studies. And, if your English is not very good, if your business reading comprehension is not good, that can be a big problem. Also in the exams, the answer choices when there's multiple choice, it's not that black and white. It's not like the car is blue is the right answer and the options are red, white. I mean, it is very close, very similar. Okay, so you have to really understand how to make some inference, it's a little bit of deductive reasoning, etc. That's where that comprehension part comes into play. So these are things that if you start to struggle in exams or with case studies, this is the problem that you need to address, okay? Again, we're not talking about you understanding a conversation. We're talking about college business type readings and case studies, etc. Not that easy if you haven't had experience in them. Of course, procrastination, a lot of slacking off with group projects, too much social life. And again, I would say that the reading comprehension is a big one, okay? And it's memorizing will help you some, but it will not help you when the answer choices are very similar. So we have a link to a course that we vetted that we think is pretty decent. Price varies, you know. This is an Udemy course, I believe. Keith, it is Udemy or yeah, pretty sure. And what this course helps you do is, you know, it has different components. Some is for the GMAT, but it also helps you with the reading comprehension, critical thinking. There's a module in there that I think is very good. And given the price, I think it's a good investment to improve your reading comprehension.
I believe that class is Udemy, Alex.
Okay, thanks. All right, so for new students, these are the courses that we recommend you take in your first semester. Marketing management, there's no prerequisites for that. Then we have a group of courses that have statistics in them. So one that's offered by our department, it's only offered in the fall, and it's called Marketing by Numbers. So it involves statistics. 70%, 60% of the course is statistics, no different from the other courses in statistics, but it has a lot of more business, marketing, math, and formulas from break even to lifetime value, customer acquisition cost, et cetera, okay? Doesn't have the depth in statistics that the other options offer. So if you're going to be in advertising, product management, digital marketing, you're not marketing management without going into the analytics or consumer insights, you're not strong in math, statistics, I would recommend you take this course in person, Marketing by Numbers, this fall. Now, the other two options are this basic statistics course, 6301. If you want to follow the consumer insights track, I would recommend you do that because a lot of the electives will require OPRE 6301 and not 6379 because it's considered like too basic. Okay, so be aware of that. Okay, now if you want to be in the marketing analytics track, then you definitely definitely cannot take this one because none of the courses in the analytics track, with the exception of 2 or 3, will have this one, Marketing by Numbers. Most of the high-level analytics courses will require only this statistics elective, advanced statistics for data science, okay? So there's a lot of C's in that course. It's, again, not meant for everyone or very few people, relatively speaking, especially marketing background people. So just be aware of that. If you're going to be the market analytics, take this class. If you don't do well in it, I would just recommend that you not really focus too much on marketing analytics and maybe be more in the consumer and shopper insights. The other course we recommend that you take in your first semester is the 6309 Marketing Data Analysis and Research. You are allowed to take it as long as you're concurrently taking 6301 and either OPRE 6301 or 6379, or of course 6359. I guess I should add it there. Okay, so take those 3 in professional development. If you're considering a 4th course, really then you start to get into tracks. So you do want to, and also issues with prerequisites. So that's going to require you to start to do a lot more research and decisions before you even start, okay? The other thing I want to mention is that starting fall 24, if some are you in summer, you can switch to the fall 24 catalog. but we have a 0 credit hour internship. And what this means is you don't pay tuition and you can do an internship with a company. However, there's some very strict requirements, no exceptions. It must be your first intern. You cannot do one for credit and then try to do a 0 credit hour one, okay? Anything that's not 0 has to be 1, 2, or 3 credit hours. Now, if you want to do a 0 credit internship, when you become eligible, is the catch is this. You cannot have taken any of these courses. These are elective courses with the exception of 6339 and 6350. That is a core course you take in your last semester. But do not take 6349, do not take 6321, do not take 6343. Because if you do take it in the fall or the spring, you're not going to be eligible for the 0 credit hour, at all. So now, if you don't want to do an internship, and mainly that's for domestic students, you can take any of these courses and they can be used as a substitute. Okay, so hope that's clear. Maybe you have questions later at the end of the session and we can address them there. Okay, so I would say this is probably the number one, if you don't pay attention to anything in this orientation, this is the number one thing you need to pay attention to. If you come afterwards, when we have this happen, and ask, well, what should I take in the first semester? So the previous slide tells you what courses to take in the first semester. And if you want to see what elective, maybe 4th course, or maybe you're waiving a core course, and you say, well, what should I take? I'm in the digital track, I'm in the analytics track, etc. That's what we put this cheat sheet together for. And the way this works is, first of all, again, try to take core courses based on how we recommend it. But if you start to get into electives, this is our recommendation by track of courses to take in order of priority. So let me go to an example. Okay, so for the digital track, so we're going to be offering a AI and marketing course in the fall. It's the first time that we offer it. Now, it does have prerequisites of statistics, so you can't take it if you haven't taken statistics. You can take it maybe in the spring if you want to. But this is our order priority. Take this one, take this e-commerce one. And the reason for the priority often is because it's only offered in the summer or fall. When a course is offered in every semester, we don't put it at the top usually of the priority list. But these tend to be either core courses or very special courses that haven't been offered before. So, they are in order of priority, okay? It doesn't mean that, say, this course down here, Causal Analytics and A/B testing, is not a priority. It is a great course for somebody that wants to be on the quantitative side of digital, which as international students, you should be more on that side. But it's offered in the spring also, okay? So that's part of the reasoning with that. And it may be too much quantitative for some students. So that's another reason it's not at the very top of the list, okay? Again, there's no substitute for doing your own research, reading the syllabi, skills, the courses mapping, okay? But if you don't do that, or you need supplemental recommendations, these are our recommendations. So please kind of keep this front and center in your mind about, important courses to take by track for summer and for fall. So part of the reason we've put the GAT together is because, another supplemental thing we have is what courses are offered in what semester, coming up summer through summer of 25. Now, this can change, if we drop a course, we add a new one, faculty leaves, there's some issue and we can't offer something, or there's a new course. So for example, this one here, 6329, has been phased out and it's been replaced by another new product course that we offer, okay? So this is kind of a planning guide. You can see, for example, marketing by numbers is only offered in the fall. Okay, so maybe you say, well, I'll take it in the spring. No, it's not offered in the spring. It's not offered in the summers. So we will send you this too by tomorrow, and this is another reference point for you. So the other thing in the degree plan I want you to be aware of, every track allows you some freedom in the sense that you can pick from any area, BUON, ENTP, that's listed for that track, any course that's not listed here, that's not listed on the degree plan, as long as it's a Jindal School of Business course that's offered, you can take it. The reason we have this is sometimes other areas have a interesting special topics course, like maybe they have one for, I don't know, AI and analytics, and that's the track you want to pursue because it's a special course that's not really in the catalog. It shows up. You can take it as long as you haven't taken some other course that's not in our degree plan. The one thing we want to say, because a few students have kind of done this, is we have our own social media course. We have our own web analytics course. If you take the MIS version, one, it's not a marketing focused one. And in the case of like web analytics, if you read their syllabi, it's SEO, PPC, and web analytics. Our web analytics is 100% web analytics. And the reason is because it's a really, really important topic that 3-4 weeks is not enough. You're not going to know anything. And that's a really critical thing. You can see here we have our social media course. This interactive and digital covers SEO and PPC. And then again, we have a full depth. So we don't think when we have these courses in marketing that, these would be as good for a marketing digital student. And especially if you've taken social media here, do not take a duplicative content course, take something else. One of the things we have at the school is just so many electives to pick from. I'm not going to read everything, but for your information, if you want some more details of the different courses like marketing by numbers, you can look at some of these slides at your own kind of, on your own time. This is the digital interactive, kind of talks about, the topics it includes. It's a lot of different topics. It's kind of introductory to digital, no huge depth in any one area, but it is very comprehensive in key areas like SEO, digital strategies, etc. We have, for those pursuing the digital and the advertising track or the marketing management track, of course, a more traditional advertising. So there's this course that's in the list for summer and fall. This is a course that I would recommend for anybody in the analytics, consumer, and shopper insights track to take. Product management track it's a pricing analytics. Oh, let me just say one thing. Here, some of these have prerequisites. This one does not have any prerequisites, so it would be an option for you in the fall. You're looking for that fourth course. It's only offered in the fall, so this would be a strong suggestion. So you can see for yourself what are some of the different topics, but it's a really important thing for those tracks that I mentioned. For digital, it's not that important. For advertising, it's not important. But product management, consumer shopper, analytics, it is very important. So this is one of our other digital core courses that we have. So it is online in the summer. Let me actually, there's a typo here. This summer, it's online. And so that's why I send this out the next day, and in the fall, in person, and those are usually on Wednesdays. Okay, so sorry for that. So you can see for yourself, highly, highly recommended course. So this is an e-commerce course. I teach that one. It's hybrid. Instead of being from 7 to 9:45 p.m., the first part, 7, 8, 15, is in person for kind of a lab part. And then the rest are online recordings you do kind of on a week to week basis and take quizzes and exams on that. So this one is really a lot of depth in just e-commerce, hands-on in WordPress, Shopify. If you've taken WordPress, you know WordPress, you shouldn't take this course, for example. But it also goes into marketing automation using HubSpot and certifications. So this is another course that's offered in the fall with no prerequisites. All right, so coming kind of to the conclusion, I gave you the courses that tend not to have prerequisites or co-requisites in these slides, but again, there's many, many courses that we offer. So keep this too in mind for waiver, questions, transfers, course blocks, holds, waiting list, adding, dropping, degree audits. That's advising in the second floor. Anything that has to do with internships, job postings, that's the Career Center. We do not handle internships except we are one stage in the approval process, but it starts with the Career Center, okay? Now, you're not going to be ready to do that. I guess summer wouldn't matter. But most of you probably start in the fall. You have to do fall and the spring. So the earliest you can do an internship is the summer, okay? Now you come to us, myself, program manager, Professor Dickinson, for things like or you can go directly in the case of the student organization to our executive leadership group. We let you know about competitions that are coming up, conferences, course curriculum questions, career advice, things like that. We have a faculty mentoring program once you start the semester that we put you in, peer-to-peer mentoring. All these things fall under us. I would say whatever you do, if you have a question about, I'm going to do this track, should I take this course or that, do not go to advising, come to us. And the reason is because advising is not specialized in marketing. They don't know the courses in and out like we do. So they advise accounting, finance students, etc. So they're just going to look at the degree plan and make an informed recommendation, like take a core course. But always better for anything course related to come to us. The only exception is if you're on probation. If you're on probation, they will tell you what courses you need to take and what grade you need to make. That's something we don't handle, okay? Because they know how to calculate the GPAs for core courses versus electives. So the other thing we're going to be sending you with the packet tomorrow is we have kind of an acknowledgement form, and this is really for your benefit. A lot of students kind of fall into problems because they don't fully understand things like probation, or the online, how many online courses I take. So this is a summary for international students, and also makes you aware that to get information, fortunately, unfortunately, the only way that we can let you know about data, things coming up like competitions, conferences, orientations, once you're a student, is through our weekly newsletter, okay? So if you're not reading that, and unfortunately we've seen 30–40% of students not reading our newsletter, you won't know really key things that could help you in what courses to take or scholarships, etc. So these are things we want to make you aware of. So if you could, once you get this, please sign it and return to us. Okay, so let's open it up for questions. Any questions?
You can put the questions in the chat, or since there's only, I think, 5 people, if it's easier to ask them out loud, that's always an option. Okay, here's one question that came from Alexia. Hi, how do we know if we are eligible for core courses being waived?
So, have you attended, did advising have any kind of orientation, the advising office? Alexia?
They just had kind of like an overall, like how to register for classes, but nothing about waiver. Oh, just how to waive like that one. Which one was it? The MAS 6102 class.
Okay, well, one of the things they should have mentioned, let me go, sometimes I don't know where they hide these things. Oh gosh, where do they have advising office, Keith, now? Okay, here we go. Never mind. All right, so if you go to jindal.utdallas.edu/advising, you want to navigate over to where would they have this?
Forms,
Here.
I think.
Okay, so here's forms. So go to jindal.utdallas. I'll post this to the chatter. If you can, I'll just do it here before we go to oops. Okay, so here's the link to that. All right, so then you just scroll down and then you will see, this is the one you were mentioning about the professional development, but there's another one above that, which is the waiver request rules and forms. So this basically will tell you what the requirements are, which basically are you have had to, in your undergraduate courses, have made at least a B in the course within the past 6 years, be from an accredited college or university, some other requirements here. And then you have to provide a syllabus of that course and fill out this form. And they tell you where to submit. Do not send it to us, otherwise we just send it over and you kind of waste a day or two. You want to follow these instructions for process. Okay, so send it to them. Now, I don't know if you understand the way waivers work for everybody's knowledge is, let's say that you took market research in your undergraduate, made a B or better, past 6 years. The syllabi roughly matches our graduate syllabi. It's not going to be identical, but at least 70% of the key important topics should be in the undergraduate class. And then if it's approved, and it can take 2-3 weeks, as it says, or for approval, you don't have to take our core course market research, but you still have to take some other 3-credit-hour marketing course. So then you can substitute it for an elective. So it's designed to prevent you from taking duplicate content courses, and this applies only to core courses. So you can waive marketing management, market research, consumer behavior, or the capstone strategy course. Statistics, I would tell you now that the odds of waiving statistics are very low because that doesn't go to our department, it goes to the statistics department. And what they look for is students with a math or statistics background. So you can try it, but I would tell you that your odds are not good. It's not going to be decided by us because they have delegated that to the statistics department. Okay, so I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Alex, we have another question
Sure.
from Mariam. Will we have to take more core courses if we decide to switch tracks? For example, if I take the core course that's statistics heavy, but later decide to switch my track, do I need to do a different core course?
No. Now, the only time that can be a problem is if you take marketing by numbers and then you want to switch, let's say, from digital to marketing analytics or consumer insights track. And the reason that's a problem is because, as I mentioned, a lot of the electives there are going to have prerequisites in OPRE 6301 or 635. And if you took marketing by numbers, you're not going to be able to take a lot of the more analytics type courses. Okay. So, otherwise it's not a problem. Yeah. Hope that answers your question. So let me just say, if in doubt that you're going to do something more quantitative like consumer, don't take marketing by numbers, just take the OPRE 6301. Now, if you're dead set on being in marketing analytics, take the statistics for data science, OPRE 6359. Okay.
Okay, another question about, well, here it is. 0-credit-hour internship is for domestic students or international students. If fall 24 is my first semester, then am I eligible for this?
Well, first of all, so I mean, I assume you're an international student, correct? I mean, yes, it is
Right.
available for a domestic student, but it would make no sense for a domestic student to do it because they can work without a visa, sponsorship or official CPT, OPT type thing. So it would make no sense for them. So if fall is your first semester, that's what you're saying? No, you would
Yes.
not be eligible for the 0 credit hour until you've done 2 long semesters, fall, spring. So summer is the earliest. The only real advantage of the 0 credit hour is that you're not paying tuition and get to do an internship. And then later on, you can do 3 credit hours or 1 or 2 credit hours. Okay. But in terms of timing, it's not like you can do it sooner. You still have to wait 2 long semesters.
Another question, are there resources to help students outside of class if they're struggling to understand
No,
concepts?
so the thing is at the undergraduate level we have them. At the graduate level, they have a statistics lab, kind of help center, but they did away with it, right, Keith? I think it's
Yes, they
effective
did.
now. Yeah, it's
Yes,
effective
they did.
now. I think it was last semester they did away with it. Wasn't sure if it was still this semester, but they did away with it just because very few came to it. And anyway, long story short, there really is no resource for it for students that are struggling. I would say one of our, again, going back to my slide on reading comprehend, the number one thing that I see with students that struggle is the business reading comprehension. And one of the problems is I think nobody wants to say, well, oh, I have a problem with comprehension. Students, internationals take it like, well, of course I can comprehend. I'm listening to you. That's not what we're talking about. Again, we're talking about this higher level business language. And again, if you take that Udemy course, you will see when you take it that you may struggle with some of those questions. But that's actually good then, because that's a very inexpensive way for you to improve on that dimension. I would say the number one thing for marketing, now if you're weak on math statistics, that's a whole different conversation. I would say then take marketing by numbers for sure. You probably will do somewhat okay, assuming you study, etc. But for the reading comprehension part, you will have issues with marketing management. You will have issues with consumer behavior. You will have issues with capstone. These are core courses with market research. You will have issues with many other courses, like my course, digital and interactive. There's a lot of simulations, business scenario questions, etc., that I notice students don't know how to discern between choice A, B, and C. They seem very similar to them because of the wording. That's an area to work on, and we've provided that resource. Okay. So yeah, I would say as a graduate student, that's going to be a little bit on you. Any other
Oh.
question? Oh, I see somebody's typing.
Sorry, could you repeat the courses we could be eligible to waive? It was consumer behavior and what
It's the
else?
core courses. If you just look at the degree plan for the core courses.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Again, statistics is one I don't think will get approved, but you can try. Yeah, only core courses can be waived. Because, an elective, if you don't want to take it, you just don't take it. So it's just for those that you have to take.
Thank you.
Sure.
Here's another question. If I choose a particular
Right.
track, for example,
Yeah.
consumer insights, would I have to complete all the core courses under that track? Would that be a problem if I decided to switch tracks?
So no, again, the tracks are only for informational purpose. They are not mandatory. You can be guided by one and look at some of those core, but even if you do the digital track wholly, you can skip one of the core courses. They're only for guidance purposes, okay? So no, you do not have to follow every course and you're not stuck at all, okay? So no, you can switch. Now the core courses and the degree plan are the same regardless of the track, okay? Unless you waive them, okay? Again, these are for informational purposes only. Okay, any other questions? Did that answer that question? Hopefully.
Not seeing any other questions right now.
Someone typing. So again, this is being recorded. You will get the recording. You will get links to, if it's online, we'll just add the link so you can just go there. Anything that's not in a link, like this PowerPoint PDF, we will send to you.
Oh, here we go. What is the minimum core courses required to complete the degree?
So it's a 36 credit hour program, 12 courses. See another question. And if there's more that
Oh, here's the follow-up. Does that include electives or is it just 36-hour core?
okay, 1 second. So I highly recommend before you start the program, you really have to spend some time and read the degree plan. Maybe, your expectations also might change and there's a lot of core courses here you do not want to take. But this is our degree plan and it is 36 credit hours. The only core courses are these. That's it. Tracks have recommended core course, but they're not mandatory. They're only for informational purposes. So the 36 credit hours, you have 15 credit hours of core courses, okay? Anything else that's called a core course is really just for information. We call it core because for that track, that's what it is, but it is not a mandatory thing. So 36 credit hours, these are the only courses everyone has to take, okay? So do please spend some time looking at the degree plan before you enroll, before some of you have not even matriculated, I believe. Keith, is that right?
Yeah, some haven't. Correct.
Okay, so then definitely you really need just, we're not a for-profit school. We're a nonprofit state college. So we want to make sure you make the right decision. And part of that is to really understand kind of what you're getting into, what you're going to be spending money on, what are the things you're going to learn, et cetera. So you want to make sure it's a good match for you and you are sure, okay? So, but that is incumbent upon you to make sure you're well versed. That's why I highly recommend those videos. It explains this in a lot more detail. Any other questions?
Not seeing any right now. No more questions from anybody?
I think somebody was typing,
Okay.
but that's gone away now. Okay. All right. Unless somebody speaks up, we assume there's no more questions. So do speak up here shortly, if otherwise we're going to close the session. So thank you everybody for joining. Again, look for that email at your UT Dallas email account. You might want to forward your UT Dallas to your Gmail or personal email account so you're not missing on any kind of important emails, because there may be some about holds or things of that nature. So with that, hopefully we've answered your questions. Feel free to send additional questions, and hopefully we will see you in the summer or more likely for the fall semester. Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Stop the recording.